Welcome back everybody to Little Miss Stampy Pants. Today we're going to do a gatefold card. Halloween is coming, so I made this beautiful card, and there's a lot of embossing, so it's going to take a little bit longer. Definitely worth it though. So with this, I have used the Chalk Talk framelit set, and I used this frame here. I've also used the Ghoulish Grunge stamp set, and with this I used the netting and I used the spider web. I also used the Spooky Fun stamp set, which I just used the sentiment, the Happy Halloween from that. So for the base of the card, I did all my pieces. I've started it like I normally do, just to try and save some time. This is the 4.5 by 11 of the basic black. I scored it at 3 inches and again at 8 inches. And then you just take it and you score it, and then it folds like a gate. It's super cute. And then you have a piece of Whisper White cardstock. This one is cut at 4 3/4 by 5 1/4. And I'll have all the dimensions on the bottom, so don't worry about writing them all down. And then I have 2 pieces at the 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. And those just go on the top right there. So then it opens up. And then the sentiment on the top here, I have 2 pieces of the basic black that I've cut at 1 inch by 2 inch. And I've just cut both of them, and I'll show you, we're going to cut these a little bit more at the end of the video, and I'll show you why. Okay, so let's get started. So we're going to set that aside, and we're going to do the purple first. So I have these 2, and these were cut out. I just had leftover. Is it going to make a difference? This one is the very vanilla cardstock. I don't think it's going to make a difference because we're going to be doing the embossing resist technique, so you're just going to see the elegant eggplant color. So I've not tried the basic vanilla. This other one was used from the white, but I didn't have a whole lot of white scraps. But I did have this from the previous card. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get our Ghoulish Grunge out, and we want the netting for that. And let's see, we have our stick pad. That one's not going to be big enough, so let's try the other one. There we go, let's try this one. There we go. Okay, so in one of my other videos, I had mentioned some people like push this down like this. Others do it like this. Does it matter much? Probably not. But we'll just do it. And I do have the Stampin' Pad underneath. It's not really important with these type of stamps. However, the photopolymer stamps, you definitely want to have the Stampin' Pierce mat, which we do sell at the My Stampin Up Store. And all that information is going to be at the top of the screen. So what I've done is I'm just going to line these up because they're both going to be basically the same thing. So I'm just going to line them up. And I'm just going to stamp it. And it's okay if you don't get all of it, and you're not going to be able to see really very well. And if it overlaps, that's perfectly fine as well, because it is the netting, so it just makes it look like there's more folds to it, which makes it really nice. So we're just going to stamp this other one here. I'm going to do this one a little bit crooked, just to give it that extra interest. You just want to make sure you cover. And if you don't cover all of it and you have like a little line. You don't really notice it anyways with the sentiment that goes over it. So set that aside. And then with this one, I used the black embossing powder. So I'm just going to put that embossing powder all over it. Isn't that cute? I love it. And you know what I didn't do? Same thing I never do. I did not use the embossing buddy. However, with this one, it probably is not going to be a huge deal, but I'll hopefully be able to remember when I go to do the spider webs, because this one you're going to have it all over anyways, so you can clearly see that it's not going to matter much on this one. But definitely a good idea if you're going to be doing some intricate work to use that embossing buddy so that the embossing powder doesn't go where you don't want it. So we're just going to load this up here. Oh. There we go. Isn't those cute? Love it. Okay, and I would suggest when you're doing this, you want to take a pair of tweezers of some sort so that you don't burn your fingers when you're putting the heat to it. So let's go ahead and pick that up. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and emboss this. There we go. And you'll see that it'll start turning black. It'll be like more of a shiny color, and that's what you're looking for. It's gonna see, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the camera, but when you're doing this at home, you'll definitely be able to tell when it's completed. Alright. Cute. Alright, we're gonna set that one aside. Pick up this next one and do the same thing. Alright, that is done. Let's go ahead and turn that off and set that aside, because we will definitely be needing that again. Alright, so now that we have these, those super cute. Okay, so they do have the blender sponges. I had already had this set from the Tim Holtz collection, so I like them because you can swap out the ends to it, and I just like them. So I probably won't be getting the sponges. I'll probably be sticking with the Tim Holt, but who knows? Maybe later on I might change my mind. But I do really like the Tim Holtz where I can swap it out. All right, so we're going to take our Elegant Eggplant and I'm going to set that here, and we're going to just start. You want to always start when you're doing this, you want to start outside and work your way in, and that way it doesn't leave a ring when you're doing this. See how it leaves that ring, and it blends it a little bit better. And you can always, you know, the more you go over the area, the darker it'll become. So it's patience. But there, see how easy that was? And look how cute. That is super cute. And on the back side of one of them, I'm going to actually do both sides, because you're going to be able to see the back side of the top one. So I'll be doing this on both sides. Oh, see, and that made it quite dark. But I don't mind. Don't mind at all. In fact, I kind of like it. It's a very Halloween color, so it makes it nice. Alright, and I'm going to do the back back side of this one, just so that I can, and you only really have to do half of it because you're not going to be able to see the other. There. So now, when we put it on the card, you'll be able to see. So it'll go just like this, and it'll be like that. Super cute. I'm actually going to do it a little bit more just to make sure. There we go. Yeah, just like that. Okay, so those are done. Now we're going to put away the black because we're going to need the silver embossing powder next, which I think the rest of it is just the silver. So that was the only black element we have. Okay, so now comes all of the silver pieces. And with the silver, I use the pumpkin pie, so we can actually take care of the elegant eggplant. And we're going to get out the pumpkin pie stamp set. And with these, we're just going to go ahead and do all of them on there. I don't have to go all of it, but okay. So with that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to need our Versamark. And we're going to need this here. So this is the first year that my daughter is not going to be going trick-or-treating. However, I have plans with my mom to do the trunk or treat. So I'm super excited about that because instead of going trick-or-treating, she gets to help decorate the back of my car so that we can pass out candy to the little kids, which I think is nice. I still be able to enjoy the holiday even though none of my kids no longer is trick-or-treating. I'm going to actually do it this way just so I don't have to, there we go. And I'm just going to go ahead and stamp. If you notice on the card, I just kind of did one in each corner. And I'm just going to do that with this one here. There we go. Alright, so just stamp it. Oh, almost put that into the pumpkin pie. That would not have been good. I caught myself. Haha. Alright, and then we're going to just stamp it. And then ink it up again. Stamp in this corner. And it doesn't have to be in the exact corner. I mean, I like them off from the corner a little bit just because it's a spider web. And I just think it looks better. Alright, perfect. So you won't be able to see it again, like I said, on the camera. But when you're doing it at home, it does darken it a little bit. So I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but I'm going to set that one aside for a bit and stamp these ones. Start in the corner. Hold it for a couple seconds. And then we're just going to go like, we'll do it up here. And do in this corner. And this stuff sticks for a long time. That's why it's such a good product, because it'll stay wet and sticky, until you can actually get the embossing powder on. So you can do multiple pieces and not have to worry about it drying out on you. So I'm just going to do like right in there. And I'm going to do here. And if you find it overlaps, that's fine as well, because you'll be able to not really notice a whole lot. With spider webs, they should be going which direction anyways. So I'm just going to line these up. I'm actually going to get another sheet of this white paper so that I can emboss on it, because I like using separate sheets of paper just because the embossing powder sometimes, which I forgot the embossing buddy again. So I'm going to have to use my, see, my daughter's not here to remind me. That's why. I get so excited about stamping that I forget to use it. So which means I'm just going to have to use my paintbrush, which I'm prepared. So I knew it was going to happen. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle the silver over the whole thing. This is a gorgeous silk. I love embossing powder. It just finishes it to me. It makes it look more, I don't know, professional. Oh, I might not need. There. Look at that. Oh. There's a couple of spots though. There, there's that one. This one up. You just want to make sure that you get all over the whole thing. You know, make sure that you're getting your embossing powder on your lines. Alright, I think that one looks pretty good. And we're going to do the pumpkin pie with these ones. So, we're going to set that one aside. We're going to do our final one here. I'm actually, because, well, that'll be alright. I was going to put it back in the container, but I think I got enough in here. I'll just take the container in. There we go. Yeah, see this one? See all that? Definitely have to have a steady hand if you don't use your embossing buddy. I would suggest use the embossing buddy. Get into that habit. Because let me tell you, this is kind of a pain. Alright, just like that. I'm going to set, actually, you know what? I'm going to stamp these ones first. So I actually, I forgot to tell you at the very beginning, not only did I use the Happy Halloween, but I have some spooky fun as well. So we're going to need both of those. So that one, and this stamp set has gotten a lot of love to it. So Alright, and I'm just gonna set them down. Use the reverser mark. I'm just gonna make sure it's all over. And I'm just gonna try and do it in the center. And then we're just gonna put some more embossing powder over it. And okay, so you guys are gonna be happy like that. Yep, I should have done this on all of them. But I looked over and I was like, oh, again, she just mentioned it. But that's me. That's, you know, got a lot going on and just wanna get to stamping, that's all. Alright, so let's try this. Have some spooky fun. Press down, hold, and voila! See how much better that is. No. All right, excellent. Got embossing powder all over my station, but the joys of working with it, I guess. Okay, so we're gonna set that aside and put this away. That's so much easier than trying to put it in this little tiny container. I would suggest if you have a lot of embossing powder, use these big containers. Makes it a lot easier putting it away. And I save all those anyways because, you know, I like to craft and I use them all the time. So again, we're gonna go ahead and grab this one. And because I don't want these little embossing all over the place. There we go. And I'm just gonna take some tweezers, oops, and there goes my paintbrush. Oh. And you're just gonna emboss, and it's gonna make this gorgeous color. It's cute silver. And you wanna make sure, like I said before, that you heat it up and you'll see that it changes colors, which is what we're going for. Because you don't wanna, you know, start putting your color on there and find out that it's not fully embossed, because that will just be a mess. Alright, and then we're going to do the next one. And they say the proper way is to heat it from underneath. I do it both ways. I don't think it makes that big of a deal as to whether you go like this or whether you heat it from the top. Not sure why they say that's the proper way, but alright, and these little ones are going to be really hard to pick up, so let's try this again. There we go. Alright. And I see some little speckles from, I'm sure, not using the embossing buddy. There we go. It definitely does help. And then we just emboss all of it. Just heat them all up, get them all nice and pretty. And then I'll show you how to do the orange. Alright, perfect. How super cute is that? And you know, I kind of like it the way it is. However, I like the orange, I think, better. So, we're going to go ahead and set those aside. And we're going to bring these in. And I don't think actually, I don't think I need that for this part of it. So, we're just going to set these like this. And we're going to do the orange. We're going to take off this. Put my little pumpkin pie. We have our pumpkin pie stamp set, and again, you want to start here and work your way over the whole thing. See what happens. I get
Shutterstock music. Shutterstock music.
Hi everybody, sorry about that. My camera had some technical difficulties. Thank goodness I was almost done anyways. All I did was I finished up the sponging on these pieces here, and then you just glue it down. You're just going to take the back of this and glue it to this base. Now when you're gluing this one though, if you just make sure that you're gluing it the right way, and that this, you're going to see that if you try and do it this way, it's going to leave too much of the background, the base of the card showing, so you don't want that. And then all I did was I glued this purple with the mesh that we had done. I glued that to the center of it going up and down, and I glued this black 1x2 piece of cardstock. And all I did was I just trimmed the corners here, and I just glued that actually with the Stampin' Dimensionals. So that pops it up just a little bit. And I don't know if you can see it, but that's basically all I did for the center of it. And I just glued these panels on, and I glued this. But I only make sure when you're gluing this piece that you're only gluing it halfway, because it's going to need to overlap, and you don't want glue here. So just make sure that when you're gluing this piece, because remember we had done only half of this, and we did not put the ink on the back side of this one. So make sure that you have them in the right spot. And then I just did the same sentiment, background for the top here. And that was basically it for the card. And if you have any questions, please go ahead and leave a comment, and I'd be more than happy to go into the comments and answer your questions for you. And thank you so much for that. Hopefully my next videos will not have that technical difficulty. I am working on getting a new camera so that doesn't happen. So I do want to take the opportunity to let you know that, I really appreciate you watching my videos, and go ahead and click on like and subscribe so that you can get to all of the videos that I have done and will do. And if you need any of these products, go ahead to littlemiss.stampypants.stampinup.net. And thank you again. Bye.